fully automatic sign-on method requires a session agent to be installed on the client system. If you configure fully automatic client sign-on method here, then the client system, each and every client system in the local network, needs to be installed a client software. That client software is required in order to work for the fully automatic. How it works: the in-band services and out-of-band services also matter here. If you are accessing the in-band services from the client system, the firewall will come up and ask the credentials. If you are asking the out-of-band service from the client system, the session agent will come up and ask the credentials. That is how it is. Let us see the lab. I go to the firewall, I say right click, edit, and I say fully automatic. I say OK. I install the policy. For in-band services, the firewall will ask the credentials. For out-of-band services, the session agent will come up and ask the credentials. Let us minimize this, and this my remote desktop, the client system. So what I'm going to, from this client system, in the client system I'm going to install the session agent. I double click here, I go to g:explore, and 65, and there is a Windows folder in that, and there is something on a folder on a CP session agent 50. So session agent 50, I double click on that and I install this. Checkpoint session authentication NG, and for now it is only for the NG's version, not NGX version, because Checkpoint has not released the version for NGX. I say next, I say finish. So it's a very small tool, and if you see down below, there is an icon here, firewall authentication agent. I click on this, double click on this. You can even configure this. It can be configured that passwords and allowed firewalls and options. So the options, you can say allow clear password, you can resolve addresses as well, but in the firewall there is something any IP address and only for the following IP address. 3 IP address you can give. You remove this, you can give 3 IP addresses, but it is easy to configure any. We will discuss this. Before that, the password, every request from the client system, for every request the password can be asked, or once per session. That means once you log in till you log off, no authentication will be asked. After so and so minutes of inactivity is very important. If you are not using the system is inactive after this, then again you will have to give the credentials. Now if you say every request, allowed firewall in the sense, we go to the diagram, see, it is not that only one gateway is connected. If this is a management server in a distributed environment, this can serve one gateway, another gateway. It's not a problem. So when you install the session agent here, what is happening behind the scene is, even from here, if you say an out-of-band service, the out-of-band service comes here, and the firewall understand that this is an out-of-band service and it is not my duty to ask the credential. It is talking to the session agent installed here at port number 261, and then the session agent come up and ask the credentials, and the credential session agent is giving to the firewall. That means I should tell this firewall that you listen to 10.1. That's what I can say here. You can, in the session agent, you can say listen to 10.1, 10.0.0.1. So I can specify up to 3 firewalls here. If at all somebody, if I have not mentioned say any IP address, if I don't mention anything here and I say any IP address, if I put a tick mark, what will happen? If at all there is an internal hacker who handshake with this, or who is talking to the system that I am the firewall, you give me the credentials, then this session agent will get the credential from the user and give it to that particular internal hacker. That internal hacker can use that and go out of this firewall. That is why. So in order to avoid that, it is always better that you give the IP address of the firewall here. But anyway, let us, for the demo purpose, let it be any address. So password, for every request the password should be asked, and any IP address, and the clear password is allowed. This is the simple configuration of the session agent is authentication agent. Now, so the how do we have installed the session agent. You can even configure that this way: file start firewall and say firewall1 session agent. You will get the same thing. That is running, that's why it's not okay. Anyway, now since we configured the fully automatic, all the out of band authentication will be taken care of or will be handled by the session agent. See, I am going to access 30.10 now. This is an out of band service. Since it is an out of band service, the session agent should come up and ask the credentials. But really what is happening behind the scene is that when I want to access the remote desktop of 30.10 like this, the request will go here, firewall will talk to the session agent will go get the credentials, give it to the firewall, then this particular client system is allowed. Let me see who is asking the credential. Say for 30.10 it is an out of band service, the session agent has to come up and ask the credential. I say connect. See session agent, firewall1 session authentication agent is coming. We